Hi, everybody. Al Bernstein here with another one of my quick hits videos. I want to talk about something in the sport of boxing that is changing, but I think still needs to change more. And that is the idea that a loss, any loss on a record, is the end of a fighter's career, whether it's his first loss after he's undefeated or any loss in a fighter that is fighting in exciting fights and giving fans what they want. Now, in boxing, traditionally, it seems that in recent years, especially, not so much going back in time, but in the last 15 or 20, maybe 25 years, too much emphasis is put on a loss by a fighter, and somehow he's diminished to the point where people don't think that he should be in major fights. And this has really been wrong thinking from the beginning, and it continues to be wrong thinking when it is adopted. However, boxing has started to learn the lesson that mixed martial arts has known from its inception for the most part, and that is that you don't just look at wins and losses. You look at the kind of progress a fighter is making, and is he or she providing you with exciting matches? And there have been a number of mixed martial arts fighters who have suffered losses, had rocky starts to their career, and gone on to be major stars. The poster child for this would be the man who is essentially the king of mixed martial arts these days, Conor McGregor. Now, Conor McGregor, you know, even the casual fan knows of Conor McGregor. They know of his exploits in recent fights. They know that he is a featherweight champion. They know that he is one of the most explosive and interesting fighters in the sport. But did they know, and did you know, that he started his mixed martial arts career with a 4-2 record? So Conor McGregor off to a very slow start in a sport in which mixed martial arts is not a sport where you have 40 or 50 fights necessarily. You know, in some cases, yes, but it doesn't take that many to get toward a world championship. So 4-2 is in fact a slow start, but he kept getting opportunities. He had a brash personality. He was an exciting mixed martial artist. And so what happened after that 4-2 record? Conor McGregor has since gone 15-0, and you can see that, you know, he has blown through impressive opponents, and now is even ready to move up a weight to look for another title in mixed martial arts. Now, I bring that all up because in the sport of boxing, we have done a better job of accepting the fact that somebody's going to lose, and so let's make a great match. Let's not wait forever to make a great match. Don't let it marinate, the words that have been used by a couple of promoters, because sometimes fights marinate to the point where they don't happen. And you certainly don't want to have a fight too soon before fighters can make it into an attraction. But it is important that the media, people like me and other people covering boxing, the promoters, the boxers themselves, the managers, the trainers, and in fact, all of you, the fans, accept the fact and get on board with the fact that just because somebody loses, it doesn't completely define them. Even if it's really a bad loss and it comes on a string of great fights for that fighter, whether they be wins or losses. Now, I would point to 2 upcoming fights in which boxing has adopted exactly the right approach. And that is, first, a fight in America in which Keith Thurman will take on Shawn Porter. Thurman's undefeated. Porter has 1 loss. They are fighters with a lot to lose, in theory, in this fight. But I hope they have very little to lose. I mean, of course, they want to win, and they're 2 super competitors who will do their best to win this match. But the reason I love this match being made is both men are saying, it doesn't matter. This fight won't define me overall in any case. And I'm willing to risk what people will say about me if I have a loss. But it's exactly the right kind of fight to be made. And another perfect example is across the pond, where Carl Frampton and Scott Quigg will be getting together. Both in their late 20s, they are undefeated. They could avoid each other for a little while longer, but why? Really? This fight is huge in Europe. It resonates also in other parts of the world, including the United States. And these men are at the peak of their skills. Why shouldn't they fight each other? And if there's a loser, if it's not a draw, that fighter should be able to climb back and win a championship again, maybe get another shot against the man he just lost to. So all of us need to kind of re-educate ourselves. It's been happening in the sport of boxing, but we need to re-educate ourselves to the idea that we can't not make great fights, and because fighters may lose. The more the media, the more fans, the more people in boxing penalize a fighter for losing in a tough fight, the more that fighter and his manager and his promoter and the people around him will shy away from the idea of fights that are risky. And so we've started, I think, a lot of progress in the sport of boxing along these lines, and it's been much better. We have to continue with it because I think in many respects, because of the fact that we don't know who's a real champion anymore. There are many organizations, many weight divisions, and this sport, the lifeblood of this sport is simply good matches. That's what boxing is down to now. Good, exciting matches with fighters that somebody has tried to market. So in closing, let me say that boxing has learned a little something from its fellow combat sport, mixed martial arts. And the more boxing can assimilate that lesson and understand that one loss does not a career make, the more great matches we will have in the future and the better it will serve the sport.